Welcome back to Speaking Llama is Survivor podcast. We are back on the podcast. Today is the sixth place finisher for Australian Survivor Heroes versus Villains. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Simon B on the podcast. Simon, how are you today?
Are you kidding me? Oh man, it's great to be here. Yeah, Alex and Caleb, you guys have been such big supporters of me. So yeah, thank you so much for getting behind us. But like I am exhausted. I am just a broken man. I am relieved, but I feel liberated and I'm proud. So yeah, it's pretty loaded, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, to say that your time on this season was a roller coaster, I think would be an understatement. So I understand being tired and exhausted from this.
Yeah, I didn't expect like the high highs and the low lows to the extent that they were. Like I came out to get my hands dirty and to play hard and to leave a mark on this game, but I left a mark on this game that I didn't ever expect to leave. And God, it's been a bit of fun on the way through, right? Like we've all had a good laugh. I've had some dark days in the middle of it all, but we've come out the other side and my character's had a full 180 and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, it's been so fun to root for you this season. Obviously, you were my winner pick. And so it was proud to be Team Alex, all good. So love that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for getting behind. And then was it congratulations to Team Caleb? Like
congrats to team. I hate that it's at your expense, but I'm happy to have won it over Alex. So
I'm watching it happen like the whole way through, knowing it was coming, and I'm like, oh man, Alex is going to be pissed.
I'm mourning right now, but I'm going to be pissed later. So we'll take that. But all right, Simon, man, we saw you day one, challenge one, go out with a bang. You're pulling Sean down, you're stealing stuff from the heroes. I loved it so much. I was up screaming for you watching it. But what was your game plan going into this? I mean, we knew you wanted to play big with that style of gameplay early on, but what was your plan this season?
Yeah, there was a strategic plan, and then there was like there's also this element of being cast as a villain. Like I really felt like I had a ticket to pay, and I may not have been the biggest villain like the first time around. So I had something to prove, and then also having the ability to be a villain, like it's fun, like it's you can kind of get away with some of these things. So I really just leaned into the experience and everything there. And I'd never burned someone's hat. Like that's not me, but it's a bit of fun you have along the way that, it creates a nice little moment and, it plants a bit of an Easter egg in there and stuff. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
That's good. That's good. What at what point did you tell George about the hat?
I took it to the grave. He found out when he saw the first episode. Out of all the things I probably should have kept to myself, finding idols or bits and pieces of information or whatever, like I kept that. I took that to the grave. And well, like I didn't tell anyone in my family about the car. That was special. But like George found out when he was watching the first episode, and right at the very end, and then like, did someone just throw George's hat on the fire? And he just lost it apparently, which is pretty funny. Yeah, that was kind of cool because just every time he kind of kept speaking about it, like it's like, oh, I just don't know where I lost my hat. I'm like, just got no idea, mate.
Oh, I loved the hat burning personally. I mean, you played the villain role so well. You mentioned the car reward. One of the questions that I've had for the last week or so, right, is Haley's one of my favorite players. You take her on that reward with you, and Haley asked you, Simon, like, did you have a reason why you picked the four of us to go? And your response was, oh no, I am livid because like there's no way that you just had no thought. So what were you thinking in that moment? I've been dying to ask you about this.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it was definitely very pointed. Like, as hard as it was to leave Sean back there, like, he would always be with me. Like, I needed a chance to try to get some information out of Maddie. But in that position, I was on the bottom. So, I was very aware of that. So I didn't want to be coming in and be forward coming with information or plans like that. I needed to be reactive. So it's like, hey, what's your idea here? And like, I needed to suss everyone out first and just see where they were sitting and just feel like I did be careful because I knew that Maddie was so close to George, right? And if I come out and be like, hey, let's form a new alliance, let's go take down George, Matt's going to go like run straight back to George and like go tell him. So
Yeah.
I needed to feel him out. And the information that we got, which just broke my heart, is that Matt was never budging. And he's like, I'm loyal to George. And I'm like, you know what? In that moment, I'm so glad that I bit my tongue because that would have come back to bite me. And so then it's like really unfortunate that Matt's not budging, but I've got this information to be able to, try and navigate around it and know that being like, I just can't throw a big plan out thinking it's going to work. So that was the right approach for me. And God, the edit really took me to town on that moment. And then they took me to town on Twitter again. It's like, come on, guys, like, when are you going to cut me break here?
Well, hey man, we saw you kind of playing the middle, especially at the merge. You're working with the villains 2.0, like the old heroes. You kind of go and work with George and Shawnee and Liz and all of them. What's going through your head when you're playing the middle between that? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's a really tough position to be in. And you say I was in the middle of the alliances, but I was so on the bottom. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I was not on that good ship vigilantes. Like, I was not there at all. Like, I was still being left out of conversations. Like, there was so much happening. Like, I'd only be dragged in once, told all the information. It's the only time I had to react. So it's really hard in that position to try work out what's going on. I can't go away and think about it and then come back. Like, if that's the only time they're talking to me, then I have to try to I don't know, get in the swing vote. And that's the only chance I have to do it, like right there and then. And it's just, it's not ideal, and it just exposes me even more. So it was nice to be in between the alliances, but I was always on the bottom there. And so I didn't have a lot of control and no agency, as I kind of spoke about, but I pulled back at times. Like when I got to merge, which is just a crazy time, and everyone's running around trying to piece all their stuff together and get their numbers back together. I just sat in the shelter by myself, and it was so lonely and hard when no one even came and grabbed me for a conversation. But by being in there and by playing that down and not trying to run in and be involved, it helped me really understand where I was, and it was enough to let everyone else tear each other apart. And I was scooped up for a number, but that was never going to last. That was always very temporary, and it was very obvious.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier this roller coaster the edit did a number on you all season long, from the cookie idol to this moment with Haley. And honestly, I was impressed by the positivity you still showed, night in, night out, both on the island and right now, as we have all been watching it together. How did you stay motivated through every time you tried to do something and it didn't work, or people are berating you, or how do you stay motivated out there?
It's really hard. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I love this game, and I am so grateful for the time to actually be out there and to play. It's such a unique and wild experience. And if you don't make the most of it in every moment, it is just wasted, because you can never get that back. And you will, you regret not being able to, or you're returning, once you played, but people always dream about going back. It's that was your chance. That was right there. You didn't make the most of that in that moment. So I wanted to make the most of every single moment. And if you don't do that with positivity and, with a smile on your face, it just makes it a little bit easier to be around. And, when people aren't talking to you, or, you're leaving you on the bottom, at least you can, try to have a good time when you can. It's just kind of who I am. I am someone who tries to lift people up and, and be, and bring some positive energy around, because I think that's important. So it kind of helped on the way through, but it was testing. You just have to dig deep.
Yeah, absolutely. So related to that, I'm curious too, we're all three wearing your snuff tats right now. I know Caleb and I love it. Walk us through kind of the inspiration behind the hat, kind of wearing that, and now starting, a brand, right?
Yeah, it's been really cool. Like I've been overwhelmed by the support that everyone's kind of got behind me. It's been awesome. And it was just like a way that I wanted to like lean into the game, and I don't want to put my name on anything, like, because I think that's a bit of a, just a bit, I don't know, it's just too much. It's not who I am. I don't want to like, I'm Simon merch, but this is like a way that I can share my experience with other Survivor fans, and that we can lean into the game. And it's cool because and the whole snuff thing, I was able to like get the hats like turned around in such a short period of time and onto the show. Like, that was sick. And yeah, the kind of the rest is history. But what it kind of means to me is like embodies the never giving up, always showing up for yourself. Like, you get knocked down 4 times, but you get up 5. And being able to share that with everyone and the fans has been awesome, because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm just a fan that got their shot, and I wore my heart on my sleeve. I was passionate. I tried, and I never gave up, because there are so many people out there that would give anything to have a go at playing that game, and I wasn't going to just let it slide right past me.
Well, as one of those people, I appreciate that. And so I will say, like, that's one of the things I've enjoyed watching most, both last season and this season, was just kind of your love of Survivor and wanting to be out there. And even if it didn't always work out, right, just having a blast while doing it. To that end, one thing we ask everyone that comes on is about a favorite memory or moment, maybe that wasn't shown on screen, because right, we don't see everything that happens out there.
Yes. Yeah. What was I actually wrote a couple of things down because I've been listening to your podcast. I kind of knew. Look, I know that you guys, a few people have spoken about the cookie, the cookie idol. Sorry, no, not cookie idol. Spoken about the coffee reward, and just how much of a fun day that was. And like that was a really cool thing. But then like I had the whole cookie, the cookie idol like blown up in my face. But then like a really big thing of my game is like I found this like in the fortune cookies after the Chinese reward, which was the same day that I found out the cookie idol was fake. I found like my fortune, Sean's was like, you will have some good times with your family or something along those lines. And mine was, I couldn't believe it. It said, if you look in the right T places with just a little T, if you look in the right T places, you will find some good offerings. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I've found a clue for an idol. Like, and this is on the same day that the cookie idols just burnt me. And I found this in a fortune cookie. And like, just sure enough, it was just a misfortunate fortune. But just to set me on a wild goose chase, and here I am trying to like look in T junctions and the T's of trees and stuff like that. Like, that was a pretty funny thing that just like another cookie related stitch up that came from that game. So, oh man, I just couldn't catch a break.
Well, hey man, one of our last questions for you too. You'll probably recognize this one as well. I've been most curious your answer to this question from everyone this season. You were put on the villain's tribe. Do you think you are a hero or a villain? And then why or why not?
Hell yeah, I'm a villain. Like, and I last time I played as a hero, and look how that worked out for me. And like, it's really cool. Like, yeah, I kind of talk about like I did actively try to lean into that villain role as well, but it was fun. Like, it kept me on my toes, and like it's just it's a liberating way to play, when you're doing this like this sneaky stuff here and there. And like, it just even like to the point where I'm throwing out the rice at the towards the end of the game, like I had nothing going for me. So you just got to like lean into it and have fun. So like, yeah, I actually think that last time I played like a hero, but I never really got to get to be a villain, or I never really got to like cross anyone or anything like that. And so that was really cool to have the opportunity to actually do it and play it and lean into it. And yeah, it got me, it sent me on the roller coaster, but it got me so much further than I ever could have expected.
Right. Oh, and it seemed like you were having fun with it too, right? Like throwing the
you
rice
gotta-
out, like throwing the
You
hat in the
gotta
fire,
have
all
fun.
that stuff.
Yeah, and all those little bits and pieces, like jumping on Sean in that first episode, like yeah, you're like it was just hilarious, like because that's like I was always about like play hard, have fun, play fair. And the whole like play fair thing, I may have just dropped that from my kind of saying coming into this season. And like, yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, like I was in the first half of the game, I ended up like I'd already achieved so much more. Like I'd been to more tribal count. I only went to 5 tribal councils last time. Then I went to like so much more before I even made it to like the tribe swap. Like, man, and yeah, it created so much chaos, and fun chaos and entertaining moments, right? It was good.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking some time today. We have been looking forward to this all season. So great to chat with you again. Hope to chat with you again sometime here after the season on the podcast. You're welcome back anytime. So
yeah, I reckon this might be the last time. This might be the last time we'll be chatting. It'll be good. And yeah, thank you both for your investment in Australian Survivor. Like it's been really cool to have like the the US fans really like appreciate what's going on here in Australia and this show. And this is a crazy season to be a part of. And yeah, you guys have just been my the #1 fan. So thank you very much. Look, I know some of those outplay, outlast decisions have been a bit questionable, but like I will take them. I'll back you home on that one. And yeah, look, Kaleb, congratulations again on the win. But just grow up, you heroes. Like no one needs that in their life.
Thank you.
I have a reminder anytime I wear this hat.
Yeah, good. Show the people. Show them what it says. Take it off. What does it say?
It doesn't say it. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, "Grow up, Kaleb. Heroes are lame."
Oh, I got you, Alex. I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll chat soon.
See you later. Thank you so much, guys.